Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're new to the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did finish the week with 11 wins and 1 loss for a win rate of 91.66%. Very, very good. Very pleased about that. I did not trade that much. I have not been trading that much for the last month. Just the market's been crappy. Just don't like the moves. I don't like the just complete rip your face off moves where it just keeps going and just ripping and ripping. And the market just wants you just to chase it. And I'm not chasing anything, so I'll just wait or I won't trade. So I just haven't been trading that much because I just don't like the market. And it's because of elections. So elections just making this year very, very, very tough to trade. It is what it is. I mean, you got to trade the market you have, not the one you want. And the market we have right now it's just chasing and chopping. So with that said, Monday, which was what, July 8th, I think? Yeah, the 8th, which is right here. Trade ideas room on the 8th, I said SPY puts under 554.50, and this is where is 554.50? Right here at this low. Remember, I averaged to the nearest 50 cents or a dollar in pre-market. There's just too much volatility to use exact numbers. I just don't like that. Once you get the first candle or two, then yeah, I'll use exact numbers. But the first 10-minute candle, there's no point, in my opinion. So yeah, I haven't been able to post my stats every day like I usually do. I've just been busy. I just haven't had time, and just life's been getting really, really hectic and busy, especially with summer here. So with that said, first play of the day is Mondays. I've been waiting out the first half an hour because they just have been very Mondays, just the first half an hour, just fake outs galore. So you can see right here, first 10-minute candle, fake out. I mean, this is why I ignore the first 30 minutes. It's just crazy. I did take puts at lower day. It did fake out here and fade out here. And when it came down to break a lower day, I took puts at 10.19, right? It's right here when it broke below the 55.40, or maybe it was actually waiting for the 55.30. As soon as it broke that, I took the 55.75 puts at $7, and they went from $7 to 10.30. So I got a good move out of that. Then it chopped a little bit. Then it took puts again at 11.35, which is right here. It's chopping, it's wicking right there, but it's getting a nice area right here. You get the body. You get 5 bodies of candles right around the 555.20 area. So when it broke below that, I took the 55.70 puts at $6, and they went from 6 to 8. So that was definitely a good move. I do love these kind of setups because they actually give you a nice area to go off from. But not all these setups are actually always good, because you can see right here, this is where I ended up taking a loss. Yeah, this is exactly where I took a loss based on this scenario right here, over here. I got all these bodies, took the puts, that ended up being a good play. Then it came back up, went to VWAP, rejected VWAP, came back up, rejected it, came back up. Bounced a few times. I thought for sure right here when I got over 555.30, it was going to go. So I took the 55.75 calls at 210, and then it dumped. So then I ended up stopping out at end of day, thinking that, we were going to rage here. We're going to go with test lower day, and then we're going to V-rally rage. But no, I was really thinking we were going to pop. So no system, no setup is ever 100%. So don't think that your setup or your system or strategy is going to be 100%, because there's no such thing. There's no magic bullet in trading whatsoever. It's all statistics, probabilities, if you want to look at it like that. So what you do is you take the ones that have the highest probabilities and you stick with those, and just refine them, retune them, tune them, get them better. But me, I've changed so much, so many strategies over the years. Anyways, let's see, the trading is room on the 9th, which is what the SPY said. SPY put in the 556, which is like, oh, I got this blown up too much. What did I say? 556, which is probably this low right here. Yeah, this low right here. I sat out the first 30 minutes. Didn't do anything, but I took puts at 10:06, which is right here, right when it broke new lower day. I remember it came back, it popped right after I got in, but I stayed with it. It didn't break higher day. I'll take the chance. Then it flushed, and those 55.75 puts about at $6. Went from $6 to $7.30, so they did go green. So I got lucky there. Lucky, I'll say. This could have just easily just it popped, but it didn't. In fact, it's kind of staying in a range. And I took puts at 11.11, which is right here. I used the bodies of these two candles on the 556. When it broke below that, I took the 555, the 55.75 puts again at $5. And they went from $5 to $5.90. Not much of a play, almost $1. So and I can't complain. It's a pretty good play, especially if it's ranging. And I am not a fan of buying puts at higher day and calls at lower day. I do not like that. You can do it all you want. You can do whatever you want. But to me, I don't like it because you buy puts at higher day, SPY squeezes. You buy calls at lower day, SPY flushes. To me, it's just very, very risky. It's better to wait for some candles to form in mid-range. If you think it's a range day, you wait for some candles to form mid-range and go off that. That way, if it is a range day, and then this is what I did. That's what I did right here. It's not really mid-range, but it's not at the lower day either. So I wasn't going to buy puts at lower day and have it pop, or buy calls lower day and have it flush. So to me, it's not lower day. It's kind of lower to the lower mid-range. But this is what I like to do. I mean, I prefer to play it like this in a range day instead of trying to buy calls at lower day or puts at lower day. And it's not going to work out. You're going to lose on both of those scenarios. I mean, you buy puts right here, it pops. You buy calls right here, it could flush. I mean, to me, it's just dangerous. So I always look for mid-range plays if I think it's going to be a range day. So that's one of my little secrets that I've been kind of leaning towards. So you also got to know yourself. I tested this in the room a couple of days ago. Know yourself, know your weaknesses. I know that when SPY has these crazy straight up days, I have a tendency to try to guess the top, and I end up getting mowed down quite a bit. So I've been learning to try to stay away from those and not chase it and not play it and just sit out. I know that a lot of people get FOMO and they can't help themselves, but you got to learn to control your emotions. You got to learn to know what your weakness is and just avoid them as best as you can. I know that's hard. It's harder than it sounds, but that's how you get better at trading. Trading is not always about making money. It's always about making good decisions and always having patience. So patience is very, very important. Everyone thinks that trading, you're always going to be in a trade. You're always going to be making money. You're always going to trade. No, that's the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard. All it takes is 1 or 2 good trades, and that's it, and you're done. You're just going to wait for them. And I know sometimes you just sit here for hours. You know, I have it all the time. I see it all the time. And you just sit here for 4 hours doing nothing, just watching nothing. And you go up to use the bathroom, or you go to get a glass of water, or you go to do something for like a minute, or you turn your back for a minute, and a move happens. It's part of trading. Do you know how many times that's happened to me? I've missed so many plays because you just sit here for so long, and then you just like, okay, I just need to do this. I mean, it hasn't done nothing for 4 hours, and it's not going to do anything for a minute for me to turn my back, and then something happens. And it happens to me all the time. And yeah, it's kind of maddening, but it is what it is. So I know I'm ranting a little bit today, but I'm just telling you how I feel about certain things, and I just yeah, it is what it is. It's part of trading. You got to be patient. You got to wait for the plays. They're not going to give you the play when you want to. They'll always get you when you're not looking. So I did take puts again at what, 201, which is what, right here? Yeah, right here. It didn't break lower day. It bounced a little bit, rejected VWAP, but it had a nice little area right here of underneath 556. So when it got below 556, which is the bodies, and below these candles right here, so you got 4 candles that's above 556. That if it flushes below it, it's going to be a good move. And I did take the 55.80 puts at 450, and they went from 450 to 640. So got lucky on that play, but it did break lower day, but it didn't stay down there for long. So yeah, kind of crazy, but crazy couple days. Range day, that's how I play ranges. Don't try to do anything crazy on range days. Is look for, if you think it's a range day, like I said, just play the middle of the range or don't play at all. Now traded is room on the what, the 10th. I said SPY puts in 56.50, which is down here, this low right here, 56.50, 556.50. And first 10 minute candle is red, 10 minute candle, second 10 minute candle is green. I didn't want to take puts. I mean, I didn't want to take calls. It didn't feel right. So I waited and I took puts as soon as it broke below 557. As soon as it broke below 557, I took the 55.85 puts at 460, and they went from 460 to 550. I almost got a dollar move. Then it raged and it raged. And this is the kind of day that I hate. I hate these days. To me, buying, you get an FU setup right here, but you get an FU setup right here and here. But like I said, FU setups are usually the best on the first, and that's it. At the second, the risk almost doubles because it could be a fake out. But this case, it didn't. But like I said, I always say, I will always say, it's easy to look after the fact to see how easy the play was. And I really can't stand people on Twitter or X or YouTube or whatever, when they pull up a chart and after the day is already said and done, saying, you should have bought calls right here. You should have bought this right here. Yeah, you should have, because it's easy to make those calls after you see the chart already develop. You've already, everything's already, the day is said and gone. So it's easy to look at the plays and say, oh yeah, I should have done this, I should have done that, you need to do this, no, because in real time, that's not how things work. To me, I wouldn't even bought the higher day here. I just didn't think it was going to go. So I just, my gut was not to take it, so I didn't take it. And you had this move, and to me, it just, I think the RSI was like well above 70 or 80 on the weekly and hourly or something. And VIX, I think that we'll have to put VIX on, because VIX had a big factor of what was happening. Yeah, VIX was, what day was this? Was the 10th, right? 10th, where was VIX? VIX was in the, yeah, 12s, mid 12s. So yeah, VIX didn't really have that much of a big play on the fact, but yeah, but anyways, to me, this is the pattern I hate. I hate this straight up chase me move. I have no part of it, and I didn't try to guess the top. I tried to jump into puts at a certain number or a certain area. I waited, and because every time I like try to get puts, it does this or it does that, and I just trying to guess the top. So I just stayed out of it. So I only traded once on Wednesday, and caught a good trade, and then it just went crazy, and I didn't want no part of it whatsoever, so I just stayed out. Then on, let's see, the 11th, trade 8 days room on the 11th, I said, let's see, what did I say? SPY puts it at 560.50, which is right here, rounded down. Massive green candle. Didn't really do too much right here. Inverted J hook right here, right there. Consolidating, wouldn't break higher day. Well, it did break higher day and it quickly got shut down. But when I made new lower day right here, I took puts. I took the 5,600 puts at $8. No, I didn't take it at $8. I took it wrong play. I took the let's see, 5,620 puts at $6. And they went from 6 to 16.90 right there. So it was a huge play. I was not expecting that kind of level of a dump, but yeah. Ended up being 100% move right there. Then I took 5,600 puts at 11.16, which is right here on a FU setup. Big red candles right here, a green candle. These are the candles that I love seeing because this just gives false hope. I mean, you get all these big red candles. The SPY loves the V rally, so everyone saw the green candles like, oh yeah, we're going to V rally back to higher day, which normally it does. I mean, to be honest, it normally does. So, but they love to trap, and they did that. They got everybody excited on the big green candle, then they flushed it. So this is an FU setup. I took puts underneath the 558.50. I took the 5,600 puts at $8, and they went from $8 to $20.50. So another 100% play on that. So that ended up being a really, really good play. Then I took calls at 337, which was right here. Inverted head and shoulders. You get the left, you get the head, you get the right shoulder. So when it broke over this, this area right here, 557.20. You get all these bodies and all these bodies. So when I broke above it, in case it was a fake out, I didn't go up here. I could have gone up here to 557.50, but it could have like rejected, which it did. I took out a little lower before the break, and those 55.90 calls went from 530 to 640. So I got a dollar plus move out of that, and ended up being a good play. So can't complain about that. Then on Friday, took 2 trades. I took traded his room on Friday. I said SPY puts under 556. Yeah, SPY puts under 556, which is down here. Rounded down to the lowest number, nearest number. I didn't want to call the 56.50. I rounded down to 556. First 2-minute candle was green. It just was ripping. I was just like, okay, I didn't want to chase this. But the reason I kind of did, I played this every setup. The reason I did was because SPY's hourly. Oops, SPY's hourly right here. We got this big dump right here on Thursday, and what was the number at 560? 560 is right here. It was so close to all-time high. I was just like, they're gonna push this to all-time high again and make new all-time high. So I wasn't gonna chase a bunch of green candles. I at least wanted one red FU candle. And so when they put in the red candle, I took calls right over that candle. I took the 56. 25 at 580 right here, and when it broke high day, it raged. They went from 580 to 1540, another 100% play, and it's just crazy how it just ripped on that. Then I took puts at 221, which is what, right here. Now this is what I'm talking about. I didn't take this right here. I was afraid that we were going to get, let me use the other chart over here so we can do it side by side so I don't lose my place. Now remember, this over here on the left is Wednesday. I didn't want to call puts right here because, I mean, look what it's doing right here. I mean, it starts to pull back to the rips, starts to pull back a flag. I should say flags, rips, flags and rips. And I know it's not really flagging, but whenever you have these kind of rounded top areas, sometimes it's not really a round top, more like a flat top. But it's just, they fake out. They'll come down to 561. They don't get heavily bought. It'll rip. And to me, I just didn't want to do it. I was looking at it. I even had it pulled up, and I don't know if I mentioned it in the room or not, but I was looking at it. I was eyeing it, but I was just like, no. And I kept thinking back to Wednesday at doing this, that this was going to be a trap. I mean, it would have been a good play, bounced off the 20 EMA. I didn't want to buy calls here. I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it. I waited. Then we had this exaggerated move up here. It made new all-time high. It rejected. It came back down. So when it broke below 563, I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 56.50 puts at 490, and they went from 221. Yeah, 221's right here. So how'd they go from 490 to 740 right there? Huh. 221. That's 221, right? 1420. So, well, I mean, they went $2, so I'm not quite sure. Actually, I think they were at the money or even maybe in the money when I got them. So yeah, that would explain why they went so well. Yeah, I think they were in the money. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Anyways, this is where I got it. They went from 490 to 740 right there, so that ended up being a good move. And you know, I probably could have taken this move, and I was looking at it, but you know, it just every single time SPY does this, it looks weak, then it rips. It looks weak, then it rips. Looks weak, then it rips. I mean, this is, you know, I know the pattern's different. It pull back more here, but how many times have we seen SPY do this? Show like a bearish setup a little bit right here and just rip. Then it just dumped hard Friday into day Friday. So I'm not quite sure. I didn't want to take it, and I wasn't sure, and I was not chasing it because I mean, if I chased it, it would have been good. But like I said, it's easier to see it after the fact when it's all said and done, because I really can't stand people on Twitter that do that shit. It pisses me off really bad. I feel like calling them out every time, but I don't because I'm probably too nice. I just don't want to call them for that bullshit. But it's so easy to look when it's all said and done and say, oh yeah, I should have chased it. But to me, normally, you know, anytime you have these big red candles, SPY eats it right up right away. Like right here, big red candle got eaten up and just took off. Dropped and just got eaten up and taken off, but it didn't get eaten up immediately like this. But normally we see this kind of move, and it just V rallied. You know, I mean, this could have been a trap, VWAP. They could have bounced back up to all-time high, but to me, I wasn't chasing it. I've gotten burnt on chasing things, and you just don't underestimate SPY. Never say never. Never say that SPY will never do that, because it will do exactly that. So yeah, it seems like I rambled a lot in this video, but it is what it is. I just shared my feelings and my thoughts, and I kind of feel like that's the most important thing, that trading is just, it's more psychological than it is than anything. You just, you know, psychology comes into play a lot. Patience, but also the downside is that sometimes you can overthink things, and overthinking is just as bad as being impulsive. So you just got to learn to adjust and control yourself, even though sometimes it's hard to do that. So I'm done rambling. So that's gonna do it for the recap, and thanks for watching.